Hi everyone, how are you doing today?
Morning, well,
Great,
thank you.
Tell me in
great,
the chat,
thanks.
how are you doing today? Sorry, I didn't realize we're starting already. Hi
Thank you.
everybody, I'm so excited to
Hi.
see all your faces. Jump in the chat, let me know how you're feeling, let me know how you're doing. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Okay, let's see, what are you saying? How are you doing? Okay, so this is going to be a very interactive session. If you've never met me before or you've never been to any of my sessions, you're going to participate a lot during the session, and I'm so excited. Today's session is called Rising Above, How to Build an Impactful Leadership Brand in the New Normal. And my name is Chioma Ifeanyi-Okoro. I do quite a few different things. I'm going to talk about that later. But for now, I want you to get excited because today's session is going to be absolutely incredible. And I want you to also celebrate yourself because you showed up today. So let's have a quick, I know a lot of videos are off, which is completely fine, but let's have a quick celebration for you for showing up. And as we celebrate, I want you to also tell me, and let me just make sure I can actually see my slides here. Alrighty, there we go. Who is on the call with me today? Let me know what city you're repping. What city are you representing? I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'm downtown Toronto. I see Calgary. I see Toronto. Who else is in here? Represent your city. Burlington, Woodstock, Edmonton. Hey, shout out Edmonton, London, Mississauga, Vancouver, Kingston. Hey, Toronto. Who else is here? Let me see you. Oh my goodness. Quebec. Hello. Ottawa. Who else is in here? Who else is in here? Oakville. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining. Sorry, 1 second. Just make sure I can see everybody here. I love Zoom. It's an incredible platform. It's brought us all together during the season. It's been quite interesting, but we're grateful nonetheless. Yes? Yes? Nobody else in the building? Okay. Let's keep going. Before we begin, okay? Before anything starts, here's what we all want to know. Right? Let us address this big elephant that has been in the room for a very long time, right? The elephant started in March and we're here in like almost December and we're still here and it's, it's been quite the year, but we're grateful nonetheless for all the things that we do have access to, right? Thank God for the internet. So now, a quick personality test. Are you ready for this personality test? And I know some eyes are rolling right now. Why are you making me do a personality test? I came here to learn. Well, we're gonna do this anyway, all right? So a quick personality test. The question on everybody's mind on this call is, are you ready? What is your lockdown personality? Okay, I'm gonna provide you a few examples. Who are my plant parents? If you're a plant parent, give me plant parent in the comments. Tell me plant parents, any plant parents in the building? Yes, I see you, Desiree. Plant parent, anybody else? Come on, don't be shy. No, this is a judgment-free zone, okay? We're all here. I have friends who are plant parents. I see Barbara, thank you. So many of us are plant parents. I'm not a plant parent myself. I do have fake plants. I don't think that counts, but yeah. I have friends who are plant parents. How about that? All right, plant parent, I see another one. Okay, now we have the bakers and chefs. Who are my bakers and chefs? Jump in the chat. Bakers and chefs. You know yourself. It's okay. Like I said, this is it. We're not judging, right? We're just sharing, and everybody's going to be sharing. I see you, Stacy. I see you, Marlon. And by the way, I apologize in advance if I say your name wrong. Please forgive me. Note said with love, and please correct me also, right? I see Barbara. I see Sakina. I see Sabi. I see, oh my gosh, I'm going to say your name wrong. Please forgive me. Okay. Alrighty, let's go to the next one. The A Better Me tribe. You know yourself. Yoga, walks in the park, laying on the floor. Come on. Riding the bike. That's me right here. Right? Who else? Sleeping, journaling. Right? You discover, oh my gosh, I have all this free time. What am I going to do with all this time? What am I going to do with all this time? Everyone is all over. I see all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Identify yourselves. Someone says 3 hours in the hot tub, girl. Yes, I see you sleeping. More work, more walks every day. All over it. Yoga for sure. Yoga. Better than ever before. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, the next group, my Build Stronger squad. And everybody on this call should be in this group because you're on this call. So my Build Stronger squad, let me see you. Let me see you show up. Let me see you. This is if you're studying, if you're taking courses, you're attending online events. This is if you're building your business stronger. This is if you're building your career stronger. This is if you're constantly learning. This is if you're constantly betting on yourself. I see so many yeses in the comments. I see MBA in progress. Congrats to you. Yes, constant learning. Yep, yep, yep. Hooray. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Mentoring. I see you. Awesome. Now, a special group of people, my Zoom celebrities. Do you know who you are? Business at the top, right? Business at the top, jammies on the bottom. Yeah, that's me right now. Where are my Zoom celebrities? Come on, show yourselves, show yourselves. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone on this. Yes, I see you. Thank you. Any other Zoom celebrities? Yes, we're all Zoom celebrities. Business at the top, makeup done, looking all, but on the bottom is like jammies, yoga pants. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Here for it. Oh, really, Emily? Emily says no, she's refusing to do that as that's the only time for her to suit up. I see you, Emily. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, the next group. Netflix watch party besties. I organized so many Netflix watch parties with my friends earlier on in the pandemic. But who else is a Netflix watch party bestie? Who else creates groups and brings groups of people together to watch a movie from home? Because we can't go to the theaters, we can't go to the cinema, we can't go to any of these places. More than I should. That's too funny. Someone says more than I should. Yes, okay. Oh, love it. People are telling me the shows they're watching. Yes, please tell me. I'm looking for more shows to binge watch on Netflix. I'm excited. Awesome. Okay. So the next group of people, right? You suddenly discover social media, right? If you weren't using it before, you suddenly discover it and you find old friends that you've known like all your life, but like you haven't kept in touch with, and you're suddenly rekindling those friendships. I wish I had net. Okay. So who falls into this category? People who are rekindling old friendships, finding friends, friends in other countries that you thought that because they were in a different country, you couldn't talk to them because it's a different country, right? But then the internet works, and like now we realize that we can actually call people in other countries, right? I see you. I see some yeses in the comments. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. Oh, I see. Okay, Emily says, I wish I had time for Netflix. The screen has occupied my kids, and giving TV to them gave me 3 hours in the hot tub. I see you. Productivity. It's all about that. That's what we're here for. Okay. The team, another team is the team. I finally tried something new. Tell me what you tried in the chat. There's this thing you've been procrastinating for years. You're like, someday I will do that. And finally, during the season, you did that. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you did. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Congratulations to you. She did a 5K run. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Anybody else? So I finally biked all the way to, I'm at Front in Spadina, and I finally biked all the way to Lakeshore and Park Lawn. For people who bike ride, like that's nothing, but I hadn't ridden a bike in like, I think 10 years. And I finally was able to do that. And that was huge for me. Okay. We have people who made hats for a snowsuit fund. Awesome. Learned how to make a cold pressed coconut oil. Refreshed my investments. I'm here for all of this. Taken on an executive role in a nonprofit I volunteer for. That is incredible. Nature photography, amazing. Wow. Incredible. All right. Now we want to give a special shout out, yeah, because I know a lot of people fall into this category, to the homeschool moms, the moms who are homeschooling their kids. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I just wanted to recognize you especially because I can only imagine what the season has been for you. Okay. Now, did I leave anybody out? If I left you out, please tell me in the comments one group of people that I forgot to mention. Please let me know. Let me know. All right. I'm going to jump straight in. Are you ready? I'm going to just close the chat just so. Are you ready to build an impactful leadership brand and attract the right opportunities? Are you ready? Let me know you're ready. Let me know you're ready. Who is on the call with me right now? What do you do? So just give me industry and title. If you're an entrepreneur like me, let me know you're an entrepreneur. If you're a professional, let me know. Just industry and title. You don't need to put your company name, just industry and title. Yes, engineer, industry, lawyer, media entrepreneur, marketing, entertainment industry, financial services in marketing, change management consultant in financial services, marketing professional, tech industry, VP finance, yes, telecommunications, yes, product manager, fashion creative director, love it, engineer environmental, love it, communications, love it, CPG marketing, yes, healthcare, CEO clean tech, what, insurance senior director, manager, marketing, nonprofit exec director, love all of it. Yes, volunteer organization secretary and treasurer, yes, account manager in HR services company. Love all of it. Thank you so much. This is really going to help me with structuring today as well and understanding what you want to get out of today's session, which is my next question. What do you want to get out of today's session? What do you want to walk away with? I know you already saw what today's session was about. All right, I know you already know what we're going to be covering today, but I want to know from you, what exactly, at the end of this session, at the end of this hour so that we have together, what do you want to walk away with? We have to set our intention. Yeah, somebody says how to be the best version of myself. I'm here for you, right? We have to set the intention at the beginning so that as we go through the session, we're able to come back and say, did I achieve my goal, right? New network, better branding strategy, love it, right? Build a consistent brand that stands out from the crowd, to have tips on selling myself. Thank you all so much for sharing. How to communicate my leadership brand. Yes, all of it. I'm here for all of it. Anybody else want to tell me what their intentions are? What are your intentions? What are your intentions? How to communicate my leadership brand. So someone said that already? Okay. All right. So today's session, right? We're going to cover how to reflect, strategize, and build an impactful leadership brand. So I'm just making sure I can actually see my screen. Just give me a second. There we go. How to create your leadership, how to create your development plan, execute and leverage your social media platforms to build new connections and stay top of mind. How to stay on task with productivity hacks designed to help you accomplish your goals in record time. I put a lot of love into the session, so we're going to be covering quite a bit, but we're also going to be working through practical steps in each of the sessions. So please stay engaged, please stay in the chat, and let me see. I wanted to start with this because I think, like I said before, you have to set the intention. And I wanted to make it very clear to you that you can reinvent yourself as many times as you choose. Because sometimes the reason why we're playing small is because we're trying to fit a box that either we created for ourselves or somebody else told us that that's the box that we have to fit. And my goal for you this session is that you learn that you can reinvent yourself as many times as you choose. And that has been my story, okay? So this is a little bit about me. So I moved to Canada from Nigeria in 2006. It's been 14 years now. It's crazy, like time flies, right? And I came here, I went to high school and then I went to university, right? So that was 2006. So University of Guelph, great school. And then I decided I was gonna move to Toronto because if you've ever been to Guelph, great school, but the city, there's not that much there to do. And I was moving from Lagos, Nigeria, where It's like New York on steroids, essentially, right? And so I wanted a bit of a social life, just give me a little bit of a social life. And so I moved to Toronto, and then I actually worked for quite a few different organizations. So I worked for BMO Capital Markets, I worked for RBC Asset Management, and then I worked for a technology company called Points, where they deal with loyalty technology for airlines, hotels, all that stuff. I got my CPA at the same time while I was working at Points. The CPA is an amazing designation. I'm one of the ambassadors. I'm incredibly grateful that I had that designation, because it definitely makes a difference in my my career as a professional and as an entrepreneur. So I call that block of time my analyst chapter. Okay, so that was from 2011 to 2016. And then the last few years, right? So the last 4 years or so have really been my anything is possible chapter. And that's when I really stepped into my light and I stepped out of my comfort zone and I started doing things that I'm like, you know what, let me just try it, right? Let me just see where I fall, right? It was more intentional than that, but more so like, let me step out of being in the shadows or in the box of what I think somebody expects me to be, and let me actually step into who I know myself to be. Okay. And so since then, of course, I'm a speaker, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a strategy and growth consultant. And I wanted to share with you a little bit more about my anything is possible chapter. So since I started my anything is possible chapter, I've been able to attract all of these things, work with all these different brands. So this has been in the last 4 years, right? Worked with all these different brands, received all these recognitions, and I'm incredibly grateful for every single one of these things. But this did not happen until I started to believe in myself and actually stepped out of my comfort zone. Okay? I want to make this very clear, because even in your 9 to 5, even in everything that you're doing in life, where are the places where you're playing small? Where are the places where you're still trying to cover, you're still trying to shrink so that you can fit into this box that somebody has told you have to fit into? Okay? Like I said before, this session is going to push you, right? We're going to be covering quite a few different things. It's going to get uncomfortable in some places, but we're all in this together. Okay? I'm here for you. Everybody on the call is here for you. And we're going to work through all of the things that we're talking about today together. Okay? So like I said, I'm sharing all this with you today to remind you that anything is possible when you step out of your comfort zone. All right? So please keep that energy with you throughout this session. Okay. Everybody have their notepads. Everybody have their pens. Everybody, let me know. Tell me a ready in the chat. Tell me a ready in the chat. Ready in the chat. Ready in the chat. If you've never been on my calls or my workshops before, I will wait for you to type a ready in the chat. Yes, I see it. Ready, 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 ready. Everybody's ready in the chat. Hey, okay. I'm here for it. Somebody says, I love the use of chapter term for different periods of life. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go. Ready in the chat. All right, so today's session, right, we're going to be covering, oh, my bad. Today's session, we're going to be covering quite a bit, like I mentioned, but I've divided this into 4 different sections. And one of the things that you might have to do after this session is come back and watch this video, because we're going to be covering a lot, okay? So the first part is called pause. The next part is called reflect. The next part is called strategize. And then the final part is build, okay? So there's 4 parts, and each part has its own different thing, okay? So first we start with the pause. What does pause mean, right? Pause is really about your mindset, okay? Like I said, it's gonna get uncomfortable. We're gonna get vulnerable. It's perfectly fine. But at the end of this workshop, you're going to work away with tools, okay, to start implementing this stuff. So let's get in the chat, okay? What is preventing you from living your best life today, okay? Just type in the chat. Usually when I host this workshop, sometimes people say, confidence, people say money, some people say fear, some people say all kinds of things. So please share with me. I told you I was fitting into a box. My mom told me, you go to school, you graduate, you get a master's, and then you work for somebody for a couple of years, right? That was how I grew up, right? I'm Nigerian, so my parents are very much about education, right? And which is I'm still very much about education, but it's like getting the education so that I can do what, right? Getting the education so I can be able to increase my impact globally. And how do I do that, right? We're going to work through that in a second, but I want you to jump in the chat and let me know, what are the things that are holding you back? What are the voices in your head sometimes that are holding you back? Fear and confidence, time, money and confidence. I'm too comfortable. That one right there. I'm just saying, that point right there is something that holds so many of us back, right? Confidence and money, confidence, missed opportunities. Oh man, not working, fear. I hear you. I see all of you. not sure what my best life is. After today's session, you're going to know what that is, or at least you have the tools to create that, right? A break to recharge. Yes, I hear you. Responsibilities. Oh, I hear you. I hear all of you. And honestly, if we had more time, I would go deeper into my story and all the things I've had to overcome and all the things that, you know, I know I call it my anything's possible chapter, but I've gone through so much in that chapter. And so I like to call those moments my character development moments, because even in cases where may seem like I failed, what actually happened was I learned, right? I learned how not to do something, or I learned something about my character, or I developed a skill in something, right? And so sometimes we're looking at our past, or we're looking at missed opportunities, or we're looking at different things that go on in life, and we're like, oh my gosh, if only I was more this, or if only I was more that. But the truth of the matter is, everything that you do and every time that you decide to bet on yourself, you learn, right? And so you never really fail if you think about it, because if you're constantly learning, right, you are not failing, right? So each failure is a chance to learn. And I don't like to think about anything as failures, to be quite honest with you. I think of them as learning opportunities. I call them character development moments for a specific reason, right? Okay, so time spent on caring for and developing others instead of myself. I hear you. That one too, it's heavy, right? Because so many times we're like everybody else, and meanwhile your cup is empty, right? And how are you pouring? How are you pouring if your cup is empty? And I resonate with that so deeply, because that's also part of my story as well. So thank you all so much for being vulnerable with me and telling me all those things. Okay, so let's keep going. So here are 6 fears that hold us back, okay? And I'm going to tell you how to overcome them in a second. We have imposter syndrome, right? We all go through this. I don't think I'm good enough, right? That's also has to do with confidence, right? The other one is, what if I fail, right? What if I fail? What if I succeed? How will I keep it up? People actually have a fear of success. People actually have a fear of success. The other one is, I don't want to look self-promotional. That's something that holds, like, coach a lot of women. Like, I've coached well over 100 women. This is something that holds us back. I don't want to look self-promotional, right? What will people say? Those 2 words, those 2 sentences, phrases. What will people say? I don't want to look self-promotional. The last one is, I don't have, or I'm not, right? I don't have confidence. I don't have money. I don't have the right relationships. I'm not whatever it is, right? I'm not a leader, leadership material. Like, there's so many different words that we tell ourselves. And do we realize that the people who are successful today, the Oprahs, the Michelle Obamas, all those people, it was a journey. It's not like they woke up one morning, they were born into the earth and they became Oprah. I night thee, Oprah. Right? Oprah went through her own learning journey, and we see Oprah in her 60s now, and we're like, oh my gosh, this woman's so successful, or she sold this and she sold that. And I'm like, she built over time. Every day she kept showing up, right? Every day she kept showing up, even when she was afraid. Okay? We keep waiting on somebody else to give us permission to be great. How many of us are still waiting on somebody else to give us permission to be great? Right? Yeah. We're waiting for somebody else to give us permission to be great. And I wanted to tell you a story here. And I was recently in an accident. I'm fine now, as you can see. I was recently in an accident earlier in September. And one of the things that happened to me, like, so I had to have surgery and all that stuff. And after my surgery, I was laying in bed because I had an accident with my hands. As you can see, my hands are perfectly fine now. They're even like nicely painted and all that stuff. But after my surgery, I was laying in bed, and because I couldn't stand, because like the accident was on my hands and it was just too painful to move at the time. And it was a day or 2 after, and the physiotherapist came and she said to me, we're going to make you walk. And I looked at her strangely, like, what do you mean? Do you not see me lying on this bed in pain? Right? Like, what? By the way, nothing happened to my legs. Like, my legs are perfectly fine. They could move if I decided to make them to move, right? But I just chose not to. And so she said to me, we're gonna get you to stand, and we're gonna take you on a walk. And I said, I don't think that's possible, right? Because I was waiting for permission. But the minute she said to me, because again, she's an expert, right? She said to me, yeah, you can actually walk. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your legs. Nothing wrong with your legs. I got up myself, by the way, and started walking, right? And then I built from there. And everything else got more comfortable. So I just kept waiting for her to tell me, oh, now you can do this. Oh, now you can do that, right? And so as I was walking through the the hospital, I became more confident, right? In my movements, in my hands, like the different things I was able to do, right? And eventually I was released from the hospital about a week later. And then, a few weeks later, they took off my cast and they said, now you can do this. I still had to have this thing that made me look like a superhero. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was like this black, really nice, black, fashionable thing that I had to wear on my hands. And they said to me, you only take it off to shower. So because they told me you only take it off to shower, that was the only time I took it off, right? And then a week or two later, she said to me, you know what? You can take it off now and do other things, like while you're watching TV, but don't carry anything heavy, right? And I just took it off. And I just did everything. And I didn't have any restrictions. My hands were working fine. Everything was working fine. And I just decided I wasn't going to wear my nice fashionable thing anymore because I'm like, I don't need it. But the only time I would wear it was when I needed to carry something heavy. Okay. The reason why I'm telling this story is so many times we're looking for that person to give us permission. Right. And I wanted to ask you today, right, this very important question. What are you still waiting on permission for? Like what in your life are you still waiting for permission on, right? So it could be your career, it might be getting your dream job, it might be getting that client, right? That big name client. It might be, they say people in this industry, you have to wait 10 years before you get an executive role. There's so many different things that are our crutches, right? So it could be a cast, right? In my case, it was a cast, right? Or it could be a crutch. Like, what are we leaning on as like, this is my excuse why I can't move forward. This is why I can't get out of bed. This is why I can't do the thing that I want to do. Tell me in the chat, because I just shared my story with you, right? And I haven't shared that story with many people. So tell me in the chat, what is holding you back? What is the thing that you're still waiting for permission on? I'm going to wait. I'm just telling you, I'm going to wait for you to tell me in the chat what those things are. Tell me. Waiting patiently. Come on. Is everybody shy? Is that what's happening? Fear of others' judgments. So easy to use COVID as an excuse nowadays. Yes. Financial responsibility towards my family. I hear you. It's not the right time. I hear you. So many times it's time that's holding us back too. Anybody else? Please tell me in the comments. Everybody share, please. Please share. I'm gonna wait for a few more and then we're gonna keep moving. Feeling guilty about taking time for myself. I hear you. And I hope everybody has a notepad and you're writing down what your fears are. So even if you're not sharing with me in the chat, and I hope you're sharing with me in the chat, but even if you're not, I hope that you're writing this down for yourself as well, right? I'm not, okay, feeling guilty, okay. The right opportunity has not come along. I'm not ready to be uncomfortable. Like that one right there, right? When the kids grow up, I'll free up more time. I hear you. That's another one that holds us back, right? We're like, when the kids grow up, how many more years till the kids grow up? My productivity hacks today are going to help you. Okay. I'm just saying, I hear you on the kids. I empathize with you. I know I'm not a mom myself, but I do have friends who are moms. So I know. But my productivity hacks today are going to really help you with this. Okay. Permission to dream big and get a great job versus getting a job. That one right there. Right? Okay. Today's session is really going to help you with all of this. Okay. So this is something I wanted to share with you. Feel the fear and do it afraid. Okay. Every time I show up, every time I'm speaking somewhere, every time I'm pitching myself for something, every time I'm applying for anything, I'm doing it afraid. People think that people are just confident, they're just successful, no, those people are doing it afraid. They don't have it all figured out. Okay. I start a new project. I have no idea what I'm doing. But guess what? There is Google, right? And if it's not on Google, guess what? There are courses, right? There are resources. There are all these different things that I can get for free. YouTube, by the way, is an amazing resource. If people are like, I don't have money and all that stuff, YouTube served me so much when I didn't have that much, right? Like, 'cause when I quit my job and I didn't have a plan for money and all that stuff. YouTube, so many things you can learn on YouTube, right? So confidence is a muscle. You build it every day, right? Even when it seems impossible, do it afraid, okay? Today we're going to talk about building step by step, understanding the different pieces of the puzzle so you're able to put it together, all right? They don't see the process behind the confidence. Somebody says that. That's true, right? Confidence is a muscle, right? Earlier this year, I started working out I'm gonna say 3 times a week, ish. Some weeks are better than others, right? And by the summer, because I started working out, I'm gonna say in December or so, by the summer, I saw some definition in my abs. That didn't happen overnight, right? I was working on it every day, right? Well, not every day, like I said, 3 times a week. But every time I kept showing up, every time I was intentional, right? I built the muscle. I was building the muscle. That's the same thing with confidence, okay? You keep doing it afraid. And very soon, the thing that you were thinking was so hard to get done becomes your new normal, right? I know, pun intended. Your new normal, right? And that becomes your stepping stone to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And that's how Oprah and all these people that are successful, that's how they build. Because their new platform, their new normal is the thing that they couldn't do before. And then they build on that thing, okay? So the other thing I want you to do for yourself today is to appoint yourself. Remember how I said sometimes we're waiting for permission, waiting for somebody else to tell us, you're great, you're awesome, you can do this, here's an A, here's a star, here's a this, or you're now the senior director of this, or you're now the senior director of that, right? We're always waiting for somebody else to appoint us. Appoint yourself, right? I appointed myself global CEO, right? Before my business was global, before I did anything globally. But I told myself, you are the CEO of a global company. And because I told myself that, guess how I was showing up? CEO of global company energy, right? Somebody says, yes, needed that. So important, right? You have to appoint yourself. Don't wait for anybody else to appoint you. Guess what happens? When you appoint yourself, people will appoint you. When you say, I am this, they will say, you are that. But usually what's happening is we're waiting for them to tell us we're this. So we accept what they tell us instead of giving them what we want them to tell us. What we want them to know us as, right? So you have to step into who you are. Someone says, yep, act your role before you get that role. Yes, right? So appoint yourself. So decide today what you're going to appoint yourself as. You don't have to share that with me, but I want you to write that in your notes. I appoint myself as, I told you mine. I appointed myself as the CEO of a global company. And so I'm partnering with global organizations. I'm working with global brands. I'm putting myself in global rooms. I'm shaking hands with CEOs of global companies because, hello, CEO of a global company. Okay? All right, so write in your notes. You don't have to share with me. Uh-oh, I think somebody's unmuted. Tell me what you're appointing. Sorry, don't tell me. Write down what you're appointing yourself as, okay? And it's something you can go back and do as well. The next one is this one. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time, okay? It says, and it's an Ashanti proverb, Ashanti in Ghana, right? It says, you must act as if it is impossible to fail. Okay, it's something I hold on to so dearly. Anytime I'm starting a new project, I'm like, even if I don't have all the pieces together, I always execute in excellence. Even when I don't have it figured out, I will figure it out. That's just who I am, right? That's just who I am. Like I figure stuff out, right? And so you must act. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to act as if it is impossible to fail, right? Somebody says, I feel like this quote is following me. The universe is stalking me. That is too funny. Something I wanted to share with you today is, what does it mean to be your name as a verb, right? So I just Chioma that ish. What does that mean for you, right? So when you put your name in there, your name this ish, right? Or that thing, or that, whatever language you use. What does that mean? What is your name as a verb? Again, you don't have to share that with me today. I want you to think about that deeply, okay? You must act as if it is impossible to fail. Thank you for that. Somebody says powerful. Okay. This is something that I say all the time to all my clients is every time, right? Because sometimes we're afraid of looking self-promotional. We're afraid of doing all these different things. And I say to them, every time you choose to play small, every time you don't want to post that post on LinkedIn, every time you don't want to share your business, every time you don't want to share your accomplishments, every time nobody in your company knows what you're working on and how amazing you are, guess what? A group of people who you were sent to serve are going unserved. Okay? So if you're afraid of promoting your business, if you're afraid of promoting your excellence, if you're afraid of being awesome, if you're afraid of all these different things and you're thinking what people say, what will people be able to do because you now have done this thing, or because you have now shown them a path to do this thing? If I wasn't doing what I'm doing today, if I was still behind the screen, and I'm not saying this about jobs, I'm just saying about myself, right? If I was still behind the screen, crunching numbers, right? Not expressing this with you today, right? Will you have this message, right? So many times we think our stories, our journeys are about us. They're really about the people we're going to help as a result of being ourselves. Okay, so I want you to hold on to this one as well. All right, remember we have 4 parts and we're in the pause part. Thank you for that. Somebody says I agree. The last part about this is focus on your own race. Okay, women in corporates, I'm saying to you, please receive this as a word for you today. As a word for you today, okay? Stop comparing your day 1 to somebody else's day 6,000. Look to people for inspiration. Look to them for templates. Look to them for all these things. But realize that your race is yours, right? There's a reason why I'm not an app developer, right? There's a reason why I'm not I'm trying to think about something, right? There's a reason why I'm not all these different things, right? What I am is a speaker. What I am is a coach. What I am is a consultant. I'm very good at business, right? I'm very good at networking. I'm very good at giving people career advice, right? That's what I am. I'm not an app developer. If you make me develop an app, I'm going to spend like a solid, let's say a year, right? Trying to develop that app, because that's not my lane. I mean, I could choose to learn how to develop an app and like become an app developer, but that's not my passion. That's not what drives me, right? If you wake me up in the morning and say, Chioma, come and speak to those people, I would do it. Wake up from sleep and go, okay? So think about yourself, right? And stop comparing yourself to somebody else. And focus on your own journey and only look to other people for templates, right? What did you do? Okay, how were you able to get there? But don't use their exact template. Make sure it's for yourself, right? You want to customize that for yourself and for your own dreams. Okay? All right. Part 2. Who's ready for part 2? Give me a part 2 in the chat. Part 2. Part 2. I'm going to wait patiently. You already know. Part 2. Thank you. Part 2. Hey. Ready. Okay. Reflect. Okay. So part 2 is called reflect. There's a lot to do in part 2. All right. So let's talk about your leadership brand. Right? And I knew the audience I was going to be speaking in front of today. And so I went to the people of Harvard and I said, hi, Harvard, give me a definition that will resonate with this audience, because I know they need it to be proven and tested. Okay? So this is what a leadership brand is. All right? A leadership brand conveys your identity and distinctiveness as a leader. It communicates the value you offer. Okay? Communicate value, distinctiveness as a leader, identity, right? Keywords. A strong personal leadership brand allows all that's powerful and effective about your leadership to become known to your colleagues, enabling you to generate maximum value. I'm going to add to colleagues and say family, friends, extended network, people who don't even know you exist, right? Enabling you to generate maximum value. Okay? All right, is everybody still with me? Let me know if you're still with me. Give me, I'm still with you in the chat. Well, maybe don't say yes, just say, give me a yes in the chat. Okay, perfect. All right, so we all now know from the good people at Harvard, thank you, Harvard, right? From the good people at Harvard, we all now know what a leadership brand is, right? So let's keep going. Now I want you to tell me and put the first word that comes to mind when I show you these pictures, okay? Just put it in the chat. Let me know the first word that comes to mind when you think about First word. Everybody, please let me know. Authentic, powerful. Yes. Anybody else? Strong, true, powerful, powerful, powerful. Wow, so many powerfuls. Intelligent. Anybody else? Pleasant, kind, straightforward, authentic, intelligent. Anybody else? All right, now simple. I want to ask you a question. Everybody who just commented, and please, everybody else, please jump in the chat. Influential, genuine. Anybody else? Now, just one simple question. I love that you all share this. Thank you so much. One simple question. Have you ever worked with Michelle Obama? Have you ever spent 30 minutes with Michelle Obama? Okay. Thank you for the no's. The reason I ask you that question is because I want you to understand something, right? A brand goes beyond what people are experiencing when they actually get to experience you in person. It's who you communicate you are through everything that you do, right? Your values, right? How you show up online, the causes you stand for, the things that you tolerate, right? The way you show up in the world, what you're known for, how people talk about you when you're not in the room. Okay? Does this make sense? So let's see the next picture. Give me first word that comes to mind. First word, first word. First word. Come on. Innovative, visionary, innovative. Anybody else? Fun. That's the one I always hear. Entrepreneur, funny guy. Really awesome. I love it. Right? Again, the same thing goes with Richard Branson. Have we ever worked with him? Maybe you have, right? Maybe you have. Maybe you worked closely with him before, right? Most of us have not. But we see him, we know he's fun, we love his personality. He's like a funny guy, he's innovative, he's an entrepreneur, right? So these are all words, these are all brands, right? These are the brands of these people. And I know people struggle with the word personal brand a lot, right? But this is their personal brand, right? Last person, Beyonce. First word that comes to mind, first word. Give me the first word. Creative, fierce, confident. Anybody else? Popular, confident, strong, powerful, attitude, rich. Oh, love it. Okay. So I wanted to provide you these examples because I wanted you to really see that these people, yes, we know them because we see stuff about them on the internet and in all these different places, but we've actually never really spent time with them to get to know their true character or their true personalities. But we already know what those personalities are based on what we see of them, right? Based on how they show up online, based on what they support, right? Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, 3 important decisions I want you to make before we move forward. 3 very important decisions I want you to make before you move forward. First is, okay, so somebody said, I don't have a path. I don't really know where to start. I'm not even sure. We're going to spend some time doing this, okay? I'm going to give it about 2 minutes, okay? We're going to talk about who do you want to be in 5 years, okay? Where do you want to be in your career? So we're going to focus on career for today, but I want you to go after today and go and focus on health, wealth, relationships, all right? So in your career and business, who do you want to be? What rooms do you want to be in? Whose lives do you want to impact? What do you want to be the go-to person for? Okay. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and I'm actually going to turn off my camera. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to work on that. And I'm going to come back and we're going to actually talk about it because this is the framework for everything else we're going to do today. Everything else we're doing today is based on this. Okay. We're going to be on this till about, I believe it's 2:30, but everything else we're doing is based on this. So I want you to spend 2 minutes, right? It's 1:40 now. At 1:50, I'm going to come back and we're going to do this. Okay. So write that down and let's start. Okay. I know time goes by so fast. All right. So this is the framework. This is the basis for everything we're going to do going forward. All right. And you don't have to share with me just yet. One of the things I want you to do, right? So the person you just decided that that's who you're going to be, I want you to decide, I want you to convince yourself you're already that person. Okay? So tell me in the chat, who are you already? I told you mine, CEO of a global company, right? Who are you already? Who are you? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Right? And I love this song. This lyrics from this song. It says, "You know very well." I was deciding whether I was gonna sing, but I think I'm gonna save you the singing. I mean, I think I can sing, but that's a whole other conversation. But you know very well who you are. Don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars, right? And a part of the song says, "If you don't know, well, now you know." Okay? So I want you to convince yourself you're already that person. So tell me in the chat, because you know I'm not moving forward if you don't share. So tell me in the chat, who are you already? Yes, I am a successful OE and change management consultant who works on strategic transformations with executives. Yes, networking and marketing queen as well as creative director. Yes, tell me who you are in the chat, please. I'm gonna wait patiently because you know we can't move forward if you don't share. So I am my own boss, influencing others to be the best selves. Love it. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Tell me. I'm going to wait for a few more. If you don't share, we're just going to stay here. I mean, I have all day just at home, in my jammies on the bottom and like wearing my professional wear at the top. So like I have all day, just saying. Please share. Influential leader in both work and volunteering that help others make real changes. Love it. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Mentor to people as professional communicators. Love it. Powerful and influential communicator. Love it. Leadership strategist with expertise in communicating. So what of analytics and improving customer experience. Wow. Love it. I'm a change agent who is able to make a positive difference for our customers and teams. Love it. I'm a successful movie and TV show producer. Come on now. Come on now. A gift to the world. I help to develop people's superpower, their authenticity. Love all of it. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, remember I said there's 3 decisions. One is who are you, right? Number 2 is convincing yourself you're already that person, because this energy that you just shared with me, this energy is what I need you to take forward. Okay. This is the energy I need you to show up with every day following today. Okay. Now, the third part of this is, does it spark joy? You know where this is from, right? The TV show on Netflix. What is no longer serving you? Okay. Because we already know who we are, right? We just decided. We already know who we are. So as a result of who I am right now, as a result of who I am going forward, what am I no longer available for? Please tell me in the chat. And I provided you some examples because I'm also gracious. So gracious, right? Please tell me in the chat. Living inside a box. I hear you. Anybody else? Tell me in the chat. Office politics and hierarchy. There's a way around that. I hear you. Anybody else? Diminishing my light. Yes. Keep telling me in the chat. I'm going to wait for it. Anybody else? Nobody else? One more. I'm going to wait for one more. If you don't tell me. Okay, there we go. Minimizing. Oh, there's a lot more. Okay, let's go. Minimizing what I need for. I hear you. Minimizing what I need for the needs of others. Living according to what others expect me to do. Being afraid. Other people's expectations of me. Unnecessary comments on my project. I hear you. Thank you all so much for sharing. If you haven't shared with me in the chat, please make sure you're writing this down. Okay, this is very important because this is the work that we don't do. Sometimes that holds us back from moving forward. All right. Okay. So shift, right? Shift happens. Okay. Shift happens. To get to the 5-year version of yourself, you have to act. Okay. And this is my framework and I created to help people to attract global opportunities. It's called ACT, right? I call it my ACT formula. And it speaks to attract, which is the first step that we just did. What do you want to attract? Right? Who do you want to be? Right? So attract, A. C speaks to relationships, cultivate. What relationships do you need to cultivate that's going to get you to that person that you want to be in 5 years? Right? And then the T speaks to taking action, right? Which is really going to be covered in detail when we're talking about build. Okay? Now, the next section is strategize. Give me a strategize in the comments. Strategize. Let's go. Strategize. I'm going to wait patiently for the strategize in the comments. Yes, thank you. Strategize. Love it. Strategize. Let's go. Strategize. Hey. All right. Now, this is going to blow your mind, okay? If you haven't seen this, because I do present on this, but if you haven't seen this before, you are a global corporation, okay? A lot of you might already work for corporations, but you, yourself, right? You, so Chioma, I am Chioma I.O. Inc., okay? So you are your first name, last name, Inc. So you are a global corporation, right? And if you think about a corporation, because a lot of us are very familiar with corporations, sometimes they have different divisions, right? So I think about Unilever, for example. They have Dove, right? They have Knorr, right? So completely different industries, but they're able to function in those different industries. So sometimes when I'm working with women, they say to me, I'm not sure how to brand myself when I have multiple passions and multiple priorities and multiple all this stuff. And I say to them, you're not one thing, right? Yes, you work in your 9 to 5. Yes, you do all these different things. However, you're also the person you are when you volunteer, right? You're also the person you are when you show up in your leadership. You're also the person you are when you're a mom, right? So your projects, your passions, your ideas, these are your divisions, right? So the same way Unilever has all these different divisions, that is the same way that you have divisions. I'm going to break it down, okay? Like I said, you are not one thing, okay? And this applies to business owners as well. I'll give you an example of my own self in a second, but if you're a professional in the 9 to 5, right? I want you to draw this diagram for yourself, right? So you just told me who you are 5 years from now. You just told me all the different things that you want to attract. You just told me all these things. Now let's put them into these different divisions, right? So you have division 1, which is your 9 to 5, right? That's a division with all your projects in your 9 to 5 and how you want to show up in your excellence in each of those projects and your path to leadership, okay? That could be your division 1. It's not just examples, okay? Again, you don't have to use the exact words that I'm using here. I'm just providing this as examples. Think about your own life and what your divisions are, okay? Division 2 could be your side projects. Maybe you have a nonprofit. Maybe you want to be a speaker, right? Maybe you have a business, right? That is division 2. Division 3 could be your leadership development and volunteer projects, right? Maybe you're on an advisory board for a nonprofit organization. Maybe you're, a volunteer, like all those different things, the things that really dearly matter to you, okay? Again, like I said, I just put this as examples. It doesn't have to look like this at all, okay? Division 4 could be your long-term global project impact something, okay? So let me break it down for you. This is mine, all right? There we go. So this is Chioma. I told you I'm Chioma I.O. Inc. So your name incorporated, right? So your first name, your last name, write it down. Your first name, your last name incorporated, right? One of the things I do is speak, okay? So I speak at corporations, I speak at universities, colleges, I speak at conferences, women's groups, all of that, right? So that's my speaking. That's one of my divisions. There's a whole strategy for that, right? The second thing I do is leadership brand coaching for professionals and entrepreneurs. And you might say to me, but that's also speaking. Yes, but I actually coach people one-on-one, okay? So when I'm speaking, that's under speaking. When I'm coaching, it's under coaching. Does this make sense? And my coaching business is a whole strategy for that as well, okay? So each of my divisions has a strategy. Each of these things that I do has a strategy, right? And has a time and place for me to do that thing. Because otherwise I'll be overwhelmed. I'll be doing too much. And I do a lot of different things, okay? I also run another organization. I'm not going to talk too much about it today, but I also run another organization, right? So I need to be able to handle all the different things I'm doing, right? In the time that I have, okay? I'm also a strategy and growth consultant with enterprises, businesses, business owners, and countries. because I am, right? Because I am, I've told myself, convinced myself that I am, right? So the country's bit is a longer term strategy, right? But I am a growth consultant with enterprises and businesses, right? And countries. As part of my growth strategy. And longer term, I do want to work on a social enterprise and a foundation. Does this make sense? Give me a yes if it makes sense in the chat. Just so I know you're still with me. Thank you. Thank you for the yeses. Yes. I love it. Okay. So that is, right? So you have to create this for yourself, right? And we might not have time for you to create it today, but I want you to make sure that you do this, right? The next piece of it is, thank you for the yeses. I appreciate it. All right. What words describe your corporation? What do you want to be known for, right? What is your corporation known for? So, for example, my corporation is known as being innovative, is known as being resourceful, is known as showing up in excellence, is known as being a connector, right? What results do you deliver? What results? Remember how it did Michelle Obama, all these different people. What results do you deliver? How do people know that you're that thing, right? How are you showing that you are that thing that you say you are, right? That you want to be known for. Okay. What does your corporation value? This is very important. People are asking me, how do I stand out? Your values. How is Michelle Obama different from Beyonce? Like they have very similar traits that we just talked about, right? But they have different things that they do, right? And they showcase their values through those different things, right? Or how is Michelle Obama different from Richard Branson, for example, right? So just think about, everybody's different. We all have different things that make us us, right? And that contribute to us as human beings. So what are your values? So I'll give you a few examples. For me, one of my values is integrity, right? That's very important to me. It's very important to my core. Another value that I have is God, right? And I think of God as love, and I'm also Christian, right? And so you have to really think about, what are your values, right? Another value for me is community and making sure people feel included. Okay? I hope this is making sense to you. You might have to come back and watch this video. I'm just saying. Because I know there's a lot in here, but you have to do this work, because everything that you do on social, everything that you do in terms of showing up in person, everything that you do, even in networking events, is all going to come back to this. This is what people are going to remember you for. But you have to be intentional about setting what these things are so that you can show up as this person. Okay? Let's keep going. Who are your shareholders? Because we know this is a corporation. So we have shareholders in the corporation. Right? Who are you impacting? Right? It could be your kids. It could be a group of women. It could be students. It could be a country, right? So the work that we do has meaning. There's somebody that is benefiting from the work that you do, right? So when I coach, for example, my beneficiaries or my shareholders, those are my clients, right? They're now able to move forward. When I speak, the people I'm speaking to, they're now able to move forward with step-by-step strategies, right? Those are the people who are benefiting. So think about you. When you show up in your excellence, like when you show up in who you are 5 years from now, as you're going to show up every day after this, right? As you're going to show up from now on, who is benefiting? Okay? Very important. This one, and I know I'm going to get some eye rolls, but you know how we all say someday? Someday I will do this. Someday, one day, personal favorite. One day, and then one day. Okay, so someday, one day, these are not actual days like on the calendar, right? Somebody says it never comes, it really doesn't, right? These are not actual days, right? So we have to be intentional. We have to be very intentional, okay? So let's get into it. Oprah, because I know I've used a lot of Oprah examples today. Oprah has the same 24 hours. Well, like, I don't have enough hours in a day. Oprah has 24 hours. Michelle Obama, I know she has a team and all, but she got there somehow. Okay? All right? We build. We start from where we are and we keep adding. And as we keep adding, we grow a team. Okay? So let's get to it. Let's break it down and build your development plan. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? Ready. Give me a ready. Ready? Okay. Awesome. Ready. Okay. So when I coach my clients, I have two groups of goals that I make them set, okay? And I'm gonna share with you high level what those two goals are. The first one is called a BHAG, and you may have seen this before. I actually took this from one of my business textbooks from back in the day when I was in university. And a BHAG is a big, hairy, audacious goal, okay? It's a goal that scares you, okay? Your BHAG cannot be, I wanna make 10K in 5 years, because like, what are we doing? Or even I wanna make 20K, like, what are we doing? Right? So your BHAG has to be this thing. So when I say I want to be an executive in 5 years, this is for if you're maybe earlier on in your career, right? If you're already like almost there, then that's like your 2-year goal or 1-year goal. Okay? So your BHAG, it has to scare you. If it doesn't scare you, like, what are we doing? Okay? So that's one. This is one type of goal. The second type of goal, and this is one that I created, is called a building block goal. Okay? So when I say I want to be an executive in 5 years, like that's, I mean, back in the day for me, that would have been like, oh my gosh, scary. But now it's like, okay, maybe next year, maybe I'm not working 9 to 5, but you know what I mean? Right? Depending on where you are in your career. But some of the things that you have to think about is, if I want to be an executive in 5 years, what does that mean for me today? So maybe you're a manager today, right? Maybe you're a senior manager. If I'm going to be an executive in 5 years, how am I showing up right now that I need to make changes to? Does anybody know about my work? Does anybody know the results I deliver? Am I present in meetings? Right? So some things that you can think about is, okay, I need to take on some more stretch assignments that are going to showcase my work. Okay? I need to make valuable contributions towards during meetings, right? Like when I say something, it has to really resonate and it has to be well thought out, and I need to prepare before the meeting so I can make those contributions. Okay? I need to create my development plan. We're doing that today, and build relationships, right? Whether it be with coaches, mentors, sponsors to help me get there. Okay. I need to expand my knowledge base with leadership and industry specific courses. These are just some examples of goals that you set under that big, scary goal. Okay. And again, if you're a business owner, this will look different. If you're, whatever it is that you're doing, but I want you to think about, what are the step-by-step things that I need to do? Okay. This is step one. Now, I want you to act like a corporation. Okay, so many people on this call are familiar with corporations, again, because this is a women's executive network, right? And one of the things that you want to think about is, when you're working for a corporate company, they have year 1 goals, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, right? So of all these goals that you set, and this is one of the things that keeps us from accomplishing our goals, we try to do everything in year 1, right? Where, by the way, the thing in year 1 that you're trying to do could be a building block for the thing in year 2. Right? So you want to think about, where does this goal fall? I'll give you an example. I know there's a book in me. I know I'm going to write a book at some point. I'm not trying to write that book this year. Like, I have so much else to do this year that book could be like a 20, maybe next year or the year after goal, right? But I'm building to that. So I've already started working on some of the things that I would want to be in the book, right? But I'm not thinking about the book nonstop, because that's not my core focus for this year. Does that make sense? But I'm thinking about it, but I'm not thinking about it every time, right? So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Okay? Now, because we're a corporation, we have to break it down, right? Q1, what are Q1 results? What are Q2 results? What are Q3 results, right? You have to think about yourself like this. And there's an amazing book that really breaks this down. I think it's called The 12-Week Year. And I know it's called The 12-Week Year, right? Amazing book. And you want to really think about, what are my daily and weekly tasks that will help me accomplish this big, hairy, audacious goal, which is to become an executive. And you want to measure by quarter, like a corporation. The analysts are going to judge you if you don't. Right? The financial analysts, because remember, you have shareholders, right? You have all these people that are looking to you to make sure that your books are what you say your books are. Right? We have auditors, we have all those people. Okay? So you want to break down each of those goals by the quarters that you want to accomplish them by, and you want to have targets and measure. Okay? Is this helping somebody? Let me know if this is helping you. Tell me a yes in the chat. Tell me a yes if it's helping you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the yeses. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Part 4. Who's ready to build? Give me a build in the chat. Build. Let's go. Build. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, okay. So build is all about taking action, right? So we already know our goals, right? Like I mentioned, you probably have to come back to this and actually really sit down with your goals. And again, remember, there are year 1 goals, year 2 goals, year 3, year 4, year 5. Don't overwhelm yourself in year 1. Don't try to do the most in year 1. Understand that year 1 is the building year. You have to understand the step by step of what you need to build for year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. There's some goals that you absolutely have to accomplish this year to move forward in year 2. Okay? Those are the goals that you focus on. All right, let's go. Okay, let's talk about it. This is your development plan. Okay? So you want to think about, what are your blind spots? Right? One of the things I make my clients do is really sit down and take inventory. So I want you to do this for yourself. Take inventory. What are your skills? What are your accomplishments? What are your credibility markers right now, as of today? Right? Remember, you're already who you are, right? We know who we are. We know very well who we are, right? But what are your skills right now? What are your skills, accomplishments, and credibility markers, right? We're 5-year person in here, but let's also get to 5-year person with everything that we do. Right? So our gaps, right? So what additional steps do you need to take to get to your future self? Right? Really think about this. This could be industry specific courses. It could be additional experience. It could be soft skills. It could be key relationships, right? So many things fall into that bucket because you know your goals. So you know what is missing, right? You remain your 5-year person up here, okay? And then you do the work to get there. Is this making sense? Let's keep going. And now we're going to create your development plan, and we're going to include due dates. Like I already said, you're going to have to come back and watch this video, okay? Because this is going to be a lot. All right? Okay. So this is an amazing quote from James Clear, and this is from his book, Atomic Habits. It's actually one of the resources that I provide for you as well. So I provide as one of the resources you should get. But okay, they say the recording is going to go out next week or this week, so perfect. You do not rise to the level of your goals. It's amazing to set goals. One day, someday, soon, I will, right? All these words, so flowery, butterflies, strawberries, right? But you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Okay, when I saw this quote, it changed my life. Because we can have all these amazing goals, but if we don't have systems in place to make sure that we accomplish those goals, guess who's not going to get their goals accomplished? Yeah. Okay. So you want to start with, what is your goal? And you're going to do this for each of your goals. Okay. What is your goal? What are the tools and resources, right? So what additional experience, education, credibility markers do you need to accomplish this goal? Then who, it's very important, very, very important, because each of your goals, there are key people that you need. So who are the key people you need on your journey? How will you meet them and stay top of mind? So I gave you the example of becoming an executive. So that could be mentors, that could be sponsors, that could also be a coach, right? When people don't realize that they actually need a coach to get them there, right? So who are the key people that you need? It could also be friendships, relationships, people that are actually thinking of you, right? That may not necessarily be sponsors or mentors, but like are friends, right? So think about that. Who are the specific people that you need on the journey? Right? Then your systems, because remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What systems and processes will help you stay committed? And everybody is different, so you have to know yourself. To yourself be true, right? Know yourself. Know when you tend to fall off. Every time you tend to fall off, just note that moment. This is a moment where I'm falling off, right? And call yourself out. The same way you will call out anybody on social media who says anything that they shouldn't be saying, right? The same way you will call out somebody who says something that's not aligned with what they should say. Call yourself out because it's not aligned with the person up here. I'm just saying, you already told me who you are, right? In 5 years. So if anything that you do is not aligned, then you should call yourself out too. Okay? All right. So let's talk about key relationships, and I'm going to go through this really quickly. But you build, because people always ask me, how do I get a mentor? How do I get a sponsor? How do I blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's all amazing. My mentors, my sponsors did not come to me until I started showing up as a person of value. And I said, come to me, right? They came into my life, right? And I also have mentors who have been intentional of actually going out and seeking them. So one of my mentors, she's actually in Nigeria. I've never met her before, right? And I was intentional about going out and seeking her. But I also spent time learning about her, learning about everything that she cares about, so that I was able to decide for myself, she is aligned where I want to go. Because sometimes we're waiting for somebody to, quote unquote, and I use this again, quote unquote, right? We're waiting for someone to fix us, right? Like I said, this session is going to push a lot of buttons, right? Some people are going to get very uncomfortable, and that's fine, because the goal is for you to call yourself out, right? And make the changes where you deem necessary. Because the only person who can fix your situation, change your situation, is you. And then you have to be the one to decide what resources, what tools, who do I need to help me get there, right? And so my mentors, like I mentioned, my mentors, my sponsors, they did come into my life, but I had to make sure we were aligned, right? Because I was putting myself in rooms where I would meet those kind of people, right? I was going on social media and introducing myself to those kind of people. And then I was connecting with them with my content. I'm sharing all that today. Don't worry. I'm being very generous today, by the way. This would usually be a paid workshop. So you have to thank the good people at WXN for getting me to do this, because yeah, I love them and I love their platform. And so, but this would otherwise usually be a paid workshop, just so you know. All right. So think about this. All right. What do you want to be known for? How can you show up as a person of value? How can you add value to that person as well? Right? How can you think of them? Oh, I saw this article and thought about you. Oh, I know that you really care about this. So I was wondering if you were interested in this. Like, you know what I mean? Think about them. Right? What do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? These are some things that you have to reflect on. Okay? And this is how you attract key relationships, by being intentional. You don't just want anybody to mentor you. You want to make sure they're aligned with your values. You want to make sure they're aligned with where you want to go in 5 years. Right? And you also want to actively pour back into them, because it's a relationship, right? When I say pour back to them, of course, you're not mentoring them, right? But find ways you can support what they care about, right? So if you see somebody, maybe they're a speaker, or maybe that I'm trying to think of my mentors, for example, I see they get an award. I'm in their inbox. I'm so excited that you got this award, because it makes me happy to see the person win, right? I don't only reach out to them when I need something, because that's where you get put in the black book. Do not pick up. Do not answer this call. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Social media. Hey, our best friends. Okay. Social media has gotten a bad rap over the years. It's an interesting place, because you create what you want, right? I use my social media as a place for good vibes, right? I only follow accounts that actually give me good vibes. If I see anybody who's not giving me good vibes, I kind of unfollow them, because like, it's a choice, right? I'm just saying, you can pick and choose what you follow and what you do on social media. The important thing about social media is you have to think about, what do I want to be known for, right? How do I want to serve? How do you want to show up? Who do you want to attract? Okay. What are your key messages? Okay. How will you empower your network to promote you? Now, I see all this. I've gotten a job through Instagram. I've gotten speaking engagements and media features, I believe, through Twitter. I've gotten several opportunities, speaking, money, different things. LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm still working on. I'm now back on Facebook, so that's a whole other conversation. But my point here is, all these channels that we look down on, right? There is a way to leverage them. You have to decide what channels you actually want to use. If you're not on LinkedIn, then that's a problem. Like, I'm actually going to talk about LinkedIn today, because, like, why are you not on LinkedIn? I'm just saying, right? I had a conversation with a powerful woman, incredible woman. I wanted to recommend her for a speaking engagement, because I'm like, she spoke so powerfully at something I was at. I was like, I love your energy. I would love to recommend you. So what's your LinkedIn? She's like, I don't have LinkedIn. This is, by the way, she's a senior executive somewhere. She's like, I don't have my LinkedIn. Here's my email address. My face fell, because I'm like, yes, I trust her work, but if I'm going to recommend somebody to somebody else, they also need to see the person. Yes, they trust me, and based on my recommendation, they're going to go forward with the person and all that stuff. But they're going to look at me funny. Like, you teach leadership branding, and you're recommending somebody who doesn't even have a LinkedIn profile. Like, I can't even vouch. Like, I can't even vet the person on their. Do you know what I mean? Like, people actually go on your social platforms and they're trying to see, are you who you say you are? So if you have no social footprint at all, then that's a problem. Okay, somebody says, I wasn't on for a long time because of a problem with the stock. Uh-oh, sorry to hear that. It was hard to exist on LinkedIn. Yeah, I know. But here's something. LinkedIn, you choose what you share, right? My LinkedIn is very, like, it's professional stuff. It's like, of course, I'm vulnerable on there because I'm vulnerable everywhere. But, but there's a way to do it, right? There's a way to do it when you're not sharing too much information, right? And you want to also leverage it for the people. You can block people on LinkedIn. That's another thing, because I think I've heard that comment a few times. You can block people on LinkedIn. Okay. So again, very important. What do you want to be known for? How do you want to serve? Who do you want to attract? What are your key messages? And how we empower your network to promote you? Keep this in mind. How to leverage your LinkedIn to build powerful connections. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay. So I'm just going to provide you a few tips here today, right? The first one, right? Your headline and profile picture. If you do not have a profile picture on LinkedIn, like, I have so many words, but I don't want to use them. So please just fix it. Fix it. Why do you not have a profile picture? Okay. Put a nice professional picture. Don't put a selfie. I've seen some people with selfies. I've seen some people with, sorry, when I say selfies, I mean selfies where I can actually see your phone. Like you're taking a picture in a camera and like the phone. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a way that you take a selfie that someone cannot tell that's a selfie, right? Especially in this time, if you live alone, like you probably have to take a selfie, or you can place your phone somewhere and take a nice professional picture. But I've seen some people actually post a picture of them taking a selfie in a mirror. I've seen so many types of profiles on LinkedIn, but please put a professional picture on there. Just think about it as if I was going to partner with XYZ Global Corporation, and I'm showing up as this 5-year person in my head, right? This person I've said I am, right? Because again, like I said, I'm a global CEO. So how does a global CEO show up on LinkedIn? Right? How do I want to be seen on LinkedIn? So please have a profile picture. It just builds more trust, right? That you are who you say you are. The second part of that is your headline. We love that you're the director at known bank, okay? We love it. It's amazing. But like, show us more about you. Do you also care about the future of work? Do you also care about XYZ? Like, what other things do you do outside of work that showcase your personality, that somebody can think about and be like, oh, I know this person also cares about this, right? That's why you go back to your corporation and you look at your values and you look at all these things and say, this is what I want to be known for. Because this is what I want to be known for. Hello, it should be on my social media so people know that that's what I want to be known for. I'm just saying, okay? So play around with your title, right? You can include director at known bank, right? But also all the other things. Known bank, and I'm saying director at known bank because maybe you actually work in a role that requires you to for you to be seen. Does that make sense? Like for you to be the go-to person for this, right? So for example, I'm director of sales or director of all this stuff, right? So be very, very clear what you do, right? And then everything else that you want to be known for, included there. There's a lot of characters in the headline. There's a lot of characters you can put in there. If you're an entrepreneur, please do not put CEO at, no offense, okay? And again, like I said, I'm going to upset a lot of people, but don't put CEO at your company name there. The reason why, unless your company is well known, okay? If your company is well known, ignore everything I'm saying. If your company is not yet known, you just launched a business, right? And I actually had this conversation with a client a few weeks ago. You just launched a business. Nobody really knows what you do, right? You have 15 years of experience doing this thing that you do, but they don't know your company name, right? You have 15 years of experience. That's amazing, but they don't know your company name. So tell them about your experience, right? So who you help and why you are the best at what you do, okay? So if you're an entrepreneur, tell us who you serve in your headline. And your headline is the thing that introduces you. By the way, when you comment on somebody's profile or you comment on something, they see that. Like people see that, right? When you comment on something, people see, like, for example, on mine, it says speaker and it says a few other things. People see that. They don't see your whole profile. And then they decide based on what they see, whether they want to click into your profile. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not telling them what you do, then they have no interest because they don't know what that company name is. People have like such a short attention span Like they literally would look, and if it doesn't register, they just keep scrolling. And social media makes it so easy to just keep scrolling, right? So while you may have something for sale that I need, I might not know because you just put CEO at company name. Okay. And I'm saying this again, if your company is not known, right? If you just started a company, maybe you've been in business a few years, even if you've been in business 6-7 years, but the name of your company is not known, you want to tell people how you serve, okay? And why you're the best at what you do. Okay, let's keep going. We're almost out of time. Okay, summary. This is the summary section of LinkedIn. You want to leverage the summary section of LinkedIn. It's an opportunity for you to dive deeper into what you want to be known for. Okay, so what you want to be known for, what problems you solve, the results, your credibility markers, results you deliver. Okay, you also want to provide a clear call to action, right? So for an example could be to book me as a speaker visit, to work with me visit, to whatever it is. Okay, just making sure. Uh-oh, somebody's phone died. Okay, awesome. Glad to have you back. All right, let's keep going. So, and then you want to write this part in first person. Okay, very important. Don't say she is this and she is that. Say I. Okay, so that's your summary section, and your results should always be use numbers. Show me the numbers, as well as the qualitative. Okay, somebody just asked that question. Use numbers, quantify your results, right? And then also use the words and use your industry keywords. Very important. Use your industry keywords, because when people search, right, you want to come up at the top. That's the same thing with your headline. When people search, if you have, for example, for me, I have speaker. So they're looking for a speaker, right? That's just how the platform works. You have speaker in your headline, so you're gonna come up first. You have speaker in your bio, and again, qualify that more, right? So don't just say speaker, like what do you speak on, right? Or if you're a professional and maybe you're looking to track something, or if you're a business owner and maybe you specialize on SaaS software or something like that, like actually say the keywords that people will be searching for in your industry, right? Sales and SaaS, or I don't know, right? There's different things, different words. You know your industry keywords. I don't know them because I don't operate in your industry. So that's a very important thing to know, right? Because when people are searching in your industry, you want your name to come up because you've put those keywords in there. Okay? All right, let's keep going. This one, let me tell you, I probably have over 1,000 random just requests. Some of them I actually go in and I accept, but some of them I'm like, I'm not sure how you found me. And I'm not sure how I can be of value to you. I'm not sure why you added me, right? So let's make it easy for people to say yes. We always want to make it easy for people to say yes and not to say no, okay? When you add somebody on LinkedIn, you always want to include a personalized message, right? It could be something as simple as I saw you speak at, or congratulations on, or something else you saw in their profile, right? Make them understand that you're not just going on LinkedIn and just adding people, okay? Let them see that you actually thought through the idea, like why you want to add them. Okay, this is so important, right? As you're thinking about, growing your network, especially in these times that we're all online and we can't meet in person and all that stuff. If you attend a conference and you see somebody's name and maybe like they were in the comment section, they were chatting in the comments and they said something insightful, you can add them on LinkedIn and tell them, I loved your comment about XYZ during this conference. Add. Simple. Keep it simple. Sometimes we overthink these things. Okay. All right. So this one you might want to take a picture of, right? So this is a question I get all the time from my clients from when I'm speaking. So I've included it here for you, again, for free, because I love WXN. All right. So how do you stay top of mind? She says, we love you too. How do you stay top of mind, right, in your network? How do you stay top of mind for people in your network? This is how I book speaking engagements. This is how I get partnerships. This is how I do so many different things, right? And I do it in a genuine way because people are like, oh, I don't want to see sim salesy. I don't want to. This is how you do it, okay? You want to tell stories, right? You want to show, not tell, right? Which means use stories and take people along on the journey. It's very important. right? Because I think about it, like when I see someone like Michelle Obama, or I see all these people, they tell you what story with their content. They show you their thought process. They show you what they're thinking, how they're experiencing life, and they teach you things along the way, right? They bring you along, so you feel like you're part of their, like we all feel like we sit down in the Obama's living room and we're having dinner and lunch with them and stuff, right? Because they've brought us along. That's the same with you, right? Bring people along on the journey, teach them something. This is not a look at me, I'm shiny type of situation, okay? Because there's also that end of the spectrum. Look at me, this award. Look at me, this other thing. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Okay? It's not about you just being out here just shining. That's amazing. And by the way, we celebrate you for shining, right? But teach us something. Tell us about the journey, right? So post wins in your career and business. I've given you some examples of some things you can post, right? So it could be milestones, client transformation, courses you completed, board, because that's an indication that you're getting more experience towards something, new board positions, volunteer positions, and more, okay? Again, when you're posting these things, don't just say, I have this new board position. Use my framework in the bottom in blue. Can you see the blue? The blue supports the black, okay? I want to make this very clear. All right. Post interesting events you are attending and what you learned at those events. Okay. Post articles that are relevant to what you want to attract. This is very important. When you post an article that's relevant to what you want to attract, you want to make sure that you include your comments, your thoughts on the article. Okay. It's not enough to just this article. That's amazing. Like, thank you for sharing the article. I have no idea why you shared it, but right? So share articles for sure, but also include your thoughts and why that article resonated with you. Write your own articles about your area of expertise, okay? And share those. Like I said, the blue supports the black. So the blue says, show, not tell, use stories and take people along on the journey. Recognize the people in your network who were instrumental. When you're sharing the story, recognize the people who were instrumental, because our goals, we accomplished them with the help of people, right? So show those people some love in your post, right? And then use photos. You can also use video, right? To get the most out of your post engagement. I hope this helps you. Somebody says, and just to make sure I'm reading this correctly. Okay, something about commenting. Yes. So make sure also, like, you're not just posting your own comments, but you're also going into other people's profiles and commenting on their stuff as well, right? And like, again, when you comment, make sure it's something you want to be known for, because your comment appears on everybody who follows you's feed. So make sure that your comments are well thought out, right? They're intentional. They showcase what you want to be known for, right? And comment as you will, all right? Again, make sure you update your profile and then start posting content. Okay. Your systems and processes, we're almost done. These are your systems and processes, productivity hacks. Give me systems in the comments. Systems, let's go. Systems, hey, systems. Awesome. Thank you for the systems. Okay. So these are productivity hacks that are gonna help you to overcome overwhelm and stay on task. Okay, so let's jump right in. I'm not going to go too much into this one because I think it's something that's very popular and you can actually find it online. So this is your productivity quadrants. It's by Stephen Covey. It's from the book, I believe, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's how to prioritize your projects. So today we already did goal setting. We already did Q4, Q1, like all the goals by quarter. This quadrant is for your daily living. Like, just think about, what are my things? Actually, just do this for your life in general, right? Like, understand where are the points of your day that you spend time that you shouldn't be spending time. So for example, for me, it could be maybe social media, right? And I use social media for business as well, but there's sometimes I'm just scrolling on social media because I'm trying to while away time because I don't want to do something and I'm procrastinating. That will fall under my not urgent and not important, okay? So that would be something that would be in here, which means I shouldn't be spending that much time on it, right? And I should also catch myself the times when I fall into a trap of just spending lots of time on social media, okay? So you want to think about the things that you do on a daily basis and put them into this quadrant, right? urgent, not urgent, important, not important. And these are some examples to guide you through. Okay. So, like I mentioned, you probably have to come back to this workshop, but you can also find this online. Okay. The next one, overcoming procrastination. Right? Every human being struggles with this. Even the most effective people, they struggle with this. Okay? Name it and eliminate it. Okay? When you name something as procrastination, like your mind registers it as procrastination. Like you actually have to tell yourself, when I do this thing, it means I'm procrastinating. Okay? So for me, when I don't want to use an obvious example like lying on the couch and watching TV, but that could also be self-care, right? I could lying on the couch and watching TV could also be self-care for me, depending on the time of the day when I'm doing it, right? So you want to think about your life. Like I said, everybody's different. So you want to really make this for yourself. When I do XYZ, I am procrastinating. When I casually water my plants, when I watered them yesterday, and they don't need watering today, right? Just think about yourself and your daily life, right? The other part of this is break down your major projects into parts, the parts that are necessary to get done, right? Like we did today. I want to be an executive. It's overwhelming to just think about that. That's a big goal. Now, what are the step-by-step that's going to help me do that? Okay, what can I do on day 1? What can I do on day 2? What can I do on day 3? What's my goal for the week? Something else I do is I plan my day, like I plan for today, the day before. Okay, this is going to help you. And I know a lot of people do this, but this is very important. Okay, so break down your projects into parts that get you excited to complete, right? So each project becomes a mini project, right? Like each thing under the project becomes a mini project. The other part of this is this, right? And Pomodoros. Now, if you've never heard about Pomodoros, this is where you have 25 minutes of focused work. So you actually set a timer on your phone and say, for the next 25 minutes, I'll not check social media. I will not do this. I like all your procrastinating things. Like I will not check email. I think that's one in the corporate world. Like, I'm just gonna leave email over here for a second, right? I don't want to touch it too much because I think I might I might shake things up too much. Okay, so Pomodoros, right? You can decide for 25 minutes, focused work. So your actual work you have to get done. For 5 minutes, you can do the chill thing, right? And when I say chill thing, I use that loosely because like you can also use that time to do emails. You can also use that time to just, I don't want to say you can't scroll social media in that time because you're not going to spend 5 minutes on social media. Let's be honest. Like, let's just know ourselves, right? You could be like, oh, let me check the headlines really quick. Oh, let me read this article I wanted to read. Let me just go on a walk. Let me go grab a coffee real quick. 5 minutes. You can't grab a coffee in 5 minutes unless it's in your home and you already have a thing, right? I'm not saying like go to the coffee shop and buy coffee, right? Like actual, like let me go make a coffee behind me type of thing. Okay, so Pomodoros, right? So you do 25 minutes, 5 minutes. You do 4 of those before you take an actual break, right? So when you do 4 of those, that's 2 hours. You just had 2 hours of a productive day. To be honest with you, when I do this, I end up spending 2 hours of just working and then I take the break. So I don't even do the 5-minute break. Okay, so that's really going to help you. That's something that's really helped me with entrepreneurship and managing my multiple projects. Because sometimes it could be like, oh my gosh, right? The next thing is templates, processes, and systems. Templates, processes, and systems. There's something that you do every day. And every day you do the exact same thing. You haven't actually created a template. So one of the examples I use is in my business, when I'm doing partnerships, I have an email script, right? I have an email script that helps me with partnerships. I have an email script that helps me with speaking engagements. I have templates and processes and systems, right? I have a sales funnel. I have all these different things, and I don't want to go into too much detail because it might depending on what kind of industry you're in, it might be too TMI, right? Too much information. But essentially, think about your industry, right? So I'm not, like I mentioned, I'm not an app developer, so I don't know what the systems are that are going to support an app developer, but you know because you're an app developer, right? What are the things in your industry? What are the things in banking? What are the things that can help you with your work on a daily basis so that you don't have to be doing the exact same thing a few different times, right? One of the things that I do in my business as well is I have to send, I do a lot of cold outreach. Like I'm reaching out to people for the first time, right? So I customize every message, but I have a template of which that message must follow. Okay? So think about that, but also think about, so that's templates, but also think about processes and systems. right? What are the processes or systems you can add to your life that will make your life easy, right? My business right now is almost fully automated. So I don't have to be showing up every single day to do different things, right? Because I've actually invested in systems to help me get through the day. So think about that for yourself, okay? The last one, batching and scheduling. This is where I'm going to talk about email. Batching. I don't know what industry you're in. I don't know. Maybe you have to check your email every 2 seconds. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm just basing this off of like a regular, everyday person. Okay. If you have to check your emails every single time, please ignore everything I say from this point forward. Okay. If you're in your 9 to 5, can you check email first thing in the morning and know what you have to do for the day? Can you check again at 1 p.m. and know everything that you have to do for the day? And at 4 p.m. so you know everything you have to do for the day? Can you do that? Depending on your role, like I said, because some roles you actually have to be in your inbox every single moment of the day, right? But if you don't have to actively check your email, can you batch it so that you know, okay, at this point, I'm going to respond to all emails. Okay, at this point, I'm going to respond to all emails. Okay, at this point, I'm going to respond to all emails. Okay? The second piece of that is scheduling, right? And this is something that I've been doing for some time now. And you know how we have to-do lists? And on our to-do list, we just write down, it's like our someday projects, right? It's like a free flow, just writing. It's almost like you're journaling sometimes. Just write all the to-dos. I just finished all my to-dos. Just finished writing all my to-dos. Not doing them though, just writing them, right? Feels so cool to just write all my to-dos. Okay, let's talk about it, right? Let's make it practical, right? Because again, like the someday projects, that day will never come. Put a time beside each thing. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., I'm going to do this. Between 11 a.m. and, you know what I mean? Like put an actual time. So for example, for today, I have a client call at 3:30. That's on my to-do list. I have another thing and then I have another client call, right? So I have to prepare my to-do list in such a way that it takes into account all the different things that I have going on during the day, but also allows me blocks of times where I can do work. Okay, so don't just write a free flow, cross it off to-do list. Put a time beside each thing and make it realistic, right? And also try and pad the time so that you're able to make up for different things. Like, so, okay, I wasn't able to do this here, so I can move this over here. Okay, let me know if that helped you. Tell me a yes in the chat. Tell me a yes in the chat if you found that helpful. Oh, thank you for the yeses. Tell me a yes in the chat if you found that helpful. Okay. Now I want everybody to do this, and thank you all so much for the yeses. I appreciate it. I want everybody to do this. So we're coming to the end of the workshop. I do want everybody to do this before we go forward though. I have a few more slides, I think 2 or 3 more. One thing, I need you to share with me one thing, because you learned so much today. I gave you a lot today, I know I gave you a lot. But I want you to tell me one thing, because if not, we just spend an hour and a half plus together, right? Like, just tell me one thing you're gonna do in the next 48 hours. I would usually say 24 hours, but I'm gonna give you some time because it's Corona, right? COVID. We're on lockdown. So 48 hours. What are you gonna do? Somebody says, update my LinkedIn. I love it. Tell me what you're gonna do in 48 hours. I'm gonna wait patiently because you already know. You already know I'm gonna wait patiently for those responses. Be more intentional. Thank you. Update my profile picture on LinkedIn. Thank you. Love it. Anybody else want to share with me? Come on. I've been sharing. It's your turn. Share. Identify my corporation values. Yes. Be more mindful of my time. Don't waste time. Yes. Anybody else? Not just update my LinkedIn, but also make sure to have Chioma be accept my connection request. I love it. Call to action on my LinkedIn. Yes. I'm going to actively do a Pomodoro. Yes. Anybody else? Pomodoro is another person. I see you. Anybody else? Name my procrastination habits and eliminate it. Yes. Anybody else? Come on. All right. I never leave you hanging, right? So in addition to everything you learned today, right, here are some resources that have really helped me, right? So you want to take a picture of this. These are some amazing, amazing books. So if you love the session today, you would love these books as well, right? Strategize to Win by Carla Harris, The Startup of You, 12-Week Year, Atomic Habits, Abundance Now. So Abundance Now is a book by Lisa Nichols. I love Lisa Nichols. And I'm going to actually, The Startup of You is a great book in terms of thinking innovatively in your career. Strategize to Win is for if you're trying to get executive positions, all that stuff. Is a really good book for that. 12-Week Year I already mentioned. That's a great book for like being productive with your everyday in terms of work, right? Thinking through your year, right? Your year and breaking it down by the different sections. The other one is Atomic Habits, right? This is about your habits. And like I said, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. James Clear is the person who says that. And that's his book, Atomic Habits, is going to help you build successful habits. Abundance Now is about all-round abundance in all the different areas of your life. So when you think about your 5-year person, that book is going to help you with that because it works you through your wealth, your health, your all the different things, friendships, relationships, all of that stuff. And lastly, my Growth Game Masterclass. So that's actually on sale right now. So it's growthgamemasterclass.com. And you can get that class and it's going to work you through everything we covered today plus more. Okay. And I work you through you work through different worksheets and questions and all that stuff in that class. And so it's an amazing class to get. And finally, last but not least, yes, please add me on social. If you add me on LinkedIn and you don't send me a personalized message after attending the session, we might have a little bit of a problem. I'm just saying, like, I might not accept. I don't know. So please add me on LinkedIn, but please send me a personalized message. If not, there's no way of me to know that we met here and we had this amazing time together. So it will be a big help for me. The other part of that is I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Chioma IO. And then if you wanted to work with me as a coach or book me as a speaker, sorry, I'm going to go back. I'm very random on my Instagram. So just wanted to just prepare you. So you can follow me on Instagram, but just be ready for my random energy. Okay, so Instagram and Twitter, and then work with me as a coach. So you can, or book me as a speaker. So my website is chiomaio.com. Like I mentioned, I am offering you that Growth Game Masterclass discounted for a limited time. And it's my year-end present to you. And it's also my way of thanking you for attending this workshop and being with me straight through till the end. And it's just growthgamemasterclass.com. But we do have time for some Q&A if people want to stay on. So I do want to hear your questions if you have some, or I see some more comments. So someone says, me too, Lisa is amazing. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to stay on for a few more minutes because I know some people had some questions. So please jump in the chat and let me know if you have any questions. I know some people sent some questions in advance as well, and I feel like I answered most of those. But if you do have some questions, please. Oh, thank you. Somebody says, I love your energy. Thank you. Thank you. This was a great session. I love your energy. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions for me? Please let me know. I'm trying to pull up the other questions because I feel like I answered most of them. Somebody did have a question about how do you stand out in a male-dominated industry? I think that's the only one I probably did not cover. I wanted to start by saying, I think I'm going to go back to what I said before. Thank you for the thank yous. Oh, thank you for the high energy session. And thank you for tons of excellent tips. I appreciate that. Amazing session. Thank you for being so inspirational. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Inspiring and informative. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. This was fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? So standing out in the male-dominated industry. Now, I told you my story and I shared with you, like, I am from Nigeria. I'm a Black woman. I'm in Canada. Like, I couldn't even braid my hair for a very long time in this country because I needed to find someone to braid my hair. And that's why I said in my other company, it's a whole story. Anyway, so my purpose for saying this is I see you, right? I see you. I empathize with you. I know what it feels like, right? And the biggest thing I think that I would say, well, a couple of different things. One is, and I think I already said this, what does it mean to be your name as a verb, right? And something random just came into my mind. You know how they make you conjugate verbs in French class? If you've ever taken a French class, they make you conjugate verbs, right? This is how I learned French in Nigeria. I still don't speak French fluently. But yeah, so they make you conjugate verbs. Like, what does it mean to be your name, right? So it says, so the verb to be, right? I am, you are, he is, she is. So your name, I, Chioma you know what I mean? Like whatever your name is, what does it mean to be your name as an action word? What I mean by that is when you are in your excellence, when you're operating in your excellence, what is that word that describes you? Now bring that same energy to every room that you walk in, with whether you be the only woman in the room, whatever it is, right? Make sure you show up in that energy, right? And stop shrinking, right? I don't want them to see me. I'm the only woman. Don't do that. Let them see you. Go with the big hair and the big earrings. That's me. That's my brand. Okay, if that's your brand, right? Show up in your brand. The big earrings. Right? So really go in your energy. And the other part of that is also bring other people along, right? So if you're the only woman, if you're always the only, invite a friend, right? Mentor somebody who's trying to get into the industry who's younger, right? The last part I was gonna say is also look up to people, right? That make you feel like you, right? So there's a lot of people in my life that I look to that are inspirational Black women. I'm like, she's killing it, right? Inspirational Nigerian women. I'm like, yes, if she can do that, I can do that too, right? And so look for those people in your sphere of influence, and they might not know you personally. You might never actually be able to meet them, but look for their content, look for where they are showing up, look for all these different things, and find ways to inspire yourself, right? To show up in your energy. This is in addition to doing the 5-year person and all the different work that we did today, right? That's going to help you anyway. But in addition to that, I want you to show up in your energy as yourself as a verb. Okay, thank you. Someone says, thank you. Love this meeting. Your energy is contagious. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for me? Any other questions? Thank you for the session. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, and best wishes with all your endeavors. I appreciate you. Thank you. Great session. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So if nobody has questions, I hope I'm not missing any questions. Aw, someone says you have a lovely guiding light. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was such a pleasure. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being on this call with me. I know we went a little over time, but it was such a pleasure to be here with you and to share. And I really hope that this helps you. And please, and as I say with anything I do, don't let this just be one of those sessions that you just came to and like maybe you just attended and it was nice to attend and oh my gosh, the inspiration, I'm so moved by the inspiration. This is not about inspiration. As you noticed throughout the session, I provided you tools. If you don't use these tools, if you do not use them, they will not work, right? So you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to show up, okay? You have to show up for yourself. Right? When all this is over and when we're no longer together and you're in your house and you just want to procrastinate, like you have to show up for yourself. You have to do this work. You have to actually come back and spend some time and go through each of the sections and do this for yourself. Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure this is what Oprah did. I'm pretty sure this is what Michelle Obama did, right? And sometimes when you set this intention, you don't even realize how big it can go, right? There's some things that have happened for me that I could never have imagined. It wasn't on my list because I couldn't dream that big. But because I was intentional of showing up in my light, those things happened, right? And so think about that for yourself. And every time you show up, you're betting on yourself to get to the next level, okay? Okay, so somebody says, you said show up as yourself, big hair and earrings. What if that doesn't fit what a director looks like at your company? Shouldn't you dress like a director at the company if your director is what you want to be in 5 years? Does that company match your values then? Right? Because this is the work that we have to do, right? What does a director look like? And I just have one other response for you. Bozoma St. John. That's all I have to say. Because here's the thing, we've been told to conform to one thing, right? This is how you're supposed to look. This is how and again, I say this as if this is not like, I'm a big earring person. Like I've always worn big earrings. Like even when I was in banking, even when I was like, I've always been a big earring person, right? This is different from dressing corporate versus wearing a hoodie. Like that's completely different, right? Like dressing corporate, even in my corporate dressing, I have Chioma style. I'm not trying to dress like XYZ person because that's the company brand, right? I have my own brand of dressing that is Chioma style of dressing, that is a corporate professional dressing, but it's fashionable because that's just who I am, right? I'm a fashionable person, right? I'm not gonna do, but it's corporate, right? Again, I'm building partnerships with brands, with banks, with City of Toronto, with like all those different organizations. So I'm speaking their language, right? I'm closing deals with these people because I'm showing up in my authenticity. Because the minute I start to dress or try to dress like somebody else, I lose a bit of myself, right? Remember how I said I have the analyst chapter and now I have the anything is possible chapter. The anything is possible chapter is when I really stepped into Chioma. It's when I actually like fully started to show myself as who I am, right? And I showed you all the different things I've been able to do, and I'm so grateful for each of those accomplishments. And that came from me authentically going to all these events and introducing myself with my big hair and my earrings and my yellow dress sometimes, right? To all these people. Okay, so you have to think about yourself and really define who you are for yourself, right? Like I said, I'm not talking about dressing casual versus dressing corporate. Very different conversation, right? Know thy audience, right? Like if I'm going to present at I don't know, I always dress up though. I don't know, I always dress up. Right? You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. Somebody says, don't dim your light. Yes, don't dim your light. So know yourself, right? Dress as you would, right? Dress corporate as you would dress corporate, not as somebody else would dress corporate. Okay. Alrighty. I hope I answered all the questions. I'm going to hand it over. I'm just going to give it like maybe 2 more seconds and then I'm going to hand it over. I hope I answered your question. Okay, thank you. I've always dressed based on my style, which is business dress. I would like to be a director in 5 years, which is why I asked. Yes. Show up in your energy. Show up in your excellence. Show people your work. Show people your work. Use that, right? Use your work. Dress corporate, right? Depending on the organization you work for, dress corporate, dress for like the occasion, all that stuff, but dress like you would dress, right? And then show people your work, show people your light. Go through the steps that we talked about today, right? Think about what are the stretch assignments. Actually focus your energy on getting into some of those stretch assignments, on working on projects, on things that would actually move your career forward, okay? And do that in your energy, in your own energy. All right. Aw, thank you. She says you're great, thanks. Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna go now. I'm going to go. This was so amazing. Thank you, WXN. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for your platform and what you've created the last few weeks. The last few months and years. Right? I'm talking about months as in like all different workshops I've seen come through, but years of like work as well, like empowering women, and just Sherry's incredible on the team. I appreciate you. Thank you for making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Chioma. Thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today, and just all your messaging was amazing. There's so many tools that you gave. For anyone that's still on the call here, we are recording this session, so we'll be sharing that out with you. And I do just have a few things to go over, kind of WXM related things. So I just want to say again, Chioma, thank you so much. We truly appreciated this session, and we appreciate your participation in things that we have done this year. So I'm just going to take over the screen. I think this one. Not very good at this yet. Okay. Okay, so again, just sharing Chioma's information. So her website, chiomaio.com, as well. You can connect with her on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Membership. So membership is available for anyone who's interested. We're offering it at a discounted price of $8.25 a month or $99 for the year till the end of December. Thank you so much to our corporate partners. We wouldn't be able to do events like this for free without their support, so we appreciate their support. And we have more virtual events still coming up in December. So we have our Monday Mojo that is running for December on December 7th and 14th, which will be featuring WXN ambassadors Sarah Austin and Sylvie Rodrigue. And we have our virtual book club. So in December, we're doing a fun session with Claudette McGowan. She's sharing a children's book, so bring along the kids for that one. And then we have a lineup all the way through 2021 as well, with books published by Top 100 winners. And then, of course, we have our Top 100 that is next week. So tickets are going to be on sale till the end of the weekend. So make sure if you haven't grabbed one yet that you do so. So our 18th annual Top 100 is going to be virtual this year, and we're doing our summit on December 2nd and December 3rd in 2 shorter sessions. And then our awards gala will be in the evening on December 3rd. And this year, we are so pleased to be able to have Gala MC Arissa Cox from Big Brother Canada. She'll be our Gala MC. Our Gala keynote is Dr. Mackie Mandela. She's the daughter of Nelson Mandela, and we're very excited to have her speaking at our summit. And our keynote for our gala is Cynthia Loyce from The Social, and she also is creator and CEO of Find Your Pleasure. So thank you again, everyone, for attending. Thank you for sticking around and listening to everything that Chioma had to share with us. And we really appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you at future events.